In the shadowed corners of Eldridge Hollow, where the autumn leaves whispered secrets to the wind, there lived a tale so dark it chilled the blood of those who dared to speak it. This is the story of the Witch's Revenge, a bone-chilling Halloween tale that reminds us all, some curses never die. They fester, they wait, and when the veil between worlds thins on All Hallows' Eve, they strike with unholy fury. Our story begins in the year 1692, in the very heart of Eldridge Hollow, a quaint New England village nestled between jagged hills and ancient forests. The air was thick with the scent of burning wood and fear. The Puritan settlers, gripped by hysteria, had turned on their own. Whispers of witchcraft spread like wildfire, igniting trials that condemned the innocent to flames. Among them was Ilara Voss, a healer with eyes like storm clouds and hair as black as midnight ravens. Ilara was no ordinary woman. She tended to the sick with herbs from the forbidden woods, mending bones and easing fevers when the village doctors failed. But envy and suspicion twisted the hearts of her neighbors. They accused her of consorting with the devil, of hexing crops and livestock. Her trial was a farce, a spectacle of false testimonies and fabricated evidence. Bound to the stake, as the flames licked at her skirts, Ilara lifted her gaze to the blood-red sunset and uttered her final words. "By the roots of the earth and the fires of hell, I curse this hollow and all who dwell within. On the night when spirits roam, my revenge shall claim your souls. Blood for blood, ash for ash." The villagers watched her burn, their faces illuminated by the pyre's glow. They buried her charred remains in an unmarked grave at the edge of the woods, hoping to erase her from memory. But Ilara's spirit did not rest. It lingered, a spectral shadow weaving through the trees, biding its time for centuries. Fast forward to the present day, October 31st in the modern era. Eldridge Hollow had evolved into a sleepy suburb, its dark history relegated to ghost tours and Halloween decorations. Pumpkins grinned from porches, fake cobwebs draped over hedges, and children in costumes roamed the streets, their laughter echoing under the harvest moon. But beneath the festive facade, an ancient evil stirred. Meet our protagonist, Amelia Thorne, a 28-year-old history teacher who had recently moved back to her hometown after a messy divorce. Amelia was pragmatic, with a no-nonsense bob haircut and a wardrobe of sensible cardigans. She dismissed the old legends as superstitious nonsense, fodder for tourists. Her family had deep roots in Eldridge Hollow. Her ancestors were among the original settlers, though she never delved into the specifics. This Halloween, she planned a quiet evening grading papers, far from the chaos of trick-or-treaters. But fate, or perhaps something more sinister, had other plans. It started with a knock at her door just after dusk. Amelia opened it to find a small package on her doorstep, wrapped in faded brown paper tied with twine. No sender's name, no note. Curiosity piqued, she brought it inside. Unwrapping it revealed an antique locket, tarnished silver engraved with intricate runes. Inside was a faded portrait of a woman with stormy eyes, Ilara Voss, though Amelia didn't know it yet. As she clasped the locket around her neck, a chill swept through the room. The lights flickered, and for a split second she swore she heard a woman's whisper, "Blood for blood." Shaking it off as imagination, Amelia set the locket aside and returned to her work. But that night, as the clock struck midnight, the veil thinned and Ilara's curse awakened. Across town, the first signs appeared. Old Mr. Hargrove, the town historian and a descendant of the judge who sentenced Ilara, was found in his study, his body twisted in agony, skin etched with burn marks as if scorched from within. The coroner would later rule it a heart attack, but those who saw the body whispered of something unnatural, the way his eyes were wide with terror, staring at nothing. Amelia heard about it the next morning on the local news. Tragic accident, the anchor said, but Amelia felt an inexplicable pull. She decided to visit the library, her teacher's instinct driving her to research the locket's origins. The musty archives held yellowed tomes on the witch trials. As she pored over them, she discovered her own lineage. Her great-great-grandfather, Elias Thorne, had been the one to light Ilara's pyre. A shiver ran down her spine. Was the locket a coincidence? That evening, as Halloween festivities peaked, strange events unfolded. The town's annual bonfire in the square crackled higher than usual, flames dancing like possessed serpents. Children reported seeing a shadowy figure in the woods, a woman in tattered robes beckoning them closer. Parents dismissed it as overactive imaginations fueled by candy, but then the disappearances began. Little Tommy Jenkins, dressed as a pirate, vanished while trick-or-treating. His bucket of sweets was found overturned at the forest's edge, surrounded by scorched earth. Search parties combed the woods, flashlights piercing the darkness, but found only eerie silence broken by distant cackles that sounded almost human. Amelia, unable to shake her unease, confided in her best friend Sarah, a local barista with a penchant for the occult. They met at Sarah's cozy apartment, adorned with crystal balls and tarot cards. "This locket," Sarah said, examining it under candlelight. "It's cursed. Look at these runes. They're binding spells. Ilara Voss. She was real, Amelia, and your family, they killed her." Amelia laughed nervously. "Come on, Sarah, it's just an old trinket, probably from some estate sale." But deep down, doubt gnawed at her. That night, as she drove home, fog rolled in thick and unnatural, reducing visibility to mere feet. Her car radio crackled to life on its own, broadcasting static, interspersed with a woman's voice. Ash for ash. Swerving to avoid a figure in the road, a woman with burning eyes, Amelia crashed into a ditch. Shaken but unharmed, she stumbled out, the locket hot against her skin. The figure was gone, but footprints led into the woods, charred imprints smoking faintly. Desperate for answers, Amelia followed them, her phone's flashlight cutting through the mist. The path wound deeper than she'd ever ventured, trees twisting like gnarled fingers. She emerged in a clearing where an ancient oak stood sentinel over a sunken grave, Ilara's unmarked resting place. Kneeling, she brushed away leaves, revealing a stone inscribed with faded curses. As the moon reached its zenith, the ground trembled. Roots erupted from the soil, coiling around Amelia's ankles like living vines. She screamed, tugging futilely as a spectral form materialized. Ilara Voss, her form translucent, yet radiating heat like embers. "Descendant of my tormentor," the witch hissed, her voice echoing through the trees. "You wear my heart, now feel my wrath." Visions assaulted Amelia. Flashes of the trial, the flames, the pain. She saw through Ilara's eyes, the betrayal, the agony, the unquenchable thirst for revenge. "They took everything," Ilara whispered. "My life, my love, my child. Now I take theirs." Amelia pleaded, "I'm not them. Times have changed. Please, end this cycle." But Ilara's laughter was cold as winter's grave. The roots tightened, pulling Amelia toward the earth. In desperation, she yanked off the locket and hurled it into the grave. A burst of light erupted and Ilara's form wavered, but the witch was not so easily appeased. "The curse is woven into your blood," she intoned. "Tonight, it claims its due. The clearing filled with shadows, ghosts of the witch's victims? No, descendants of the accusers, drawn unwittingly to this spot. Mr. Hargrove's son, the mayor, even Sarah, who arrived searching for Amelia. One by one, the curse struck. The mayor clutched his throat, flames igniting from within, reducing him to ash. Sarah's skin blistered, her screams mingling with the wind. Amelia watched in horror, realizing the pattern, direct bloodlines of the original villagers. As the witch turned to her, Amelia's mind raced. She recalled a passage from the archives, a counterspell, a ritual of atonement. Gathering her courage, she chanted the words, "By earth and fire I repent the sin. Release the bound, let peace begin." Alara paused, her fiery eyes dimming. Repentance? After centuries? The ground ceased shaking, roots retreating. The specter flickered, revealing not a monster, but a broken woman. Your words, they carry weight, but beware. The veil closes, yet grudges linger. With a final sigh, Alara dissolved into mist, the locket crumbling to dust. The survivors, Amelia and a few others, staggered back to town, forever changed. The disappearances ceased, the fog lifted, but Eldridge Hollow was never the same. Whispers persisted, and on Halloween nights, some swore they heard echoes. Blood for blood. And so ends our tale. But remember, dear listeners, curses are patient. In your own hollows, on this chilling night, listen closely. Is that the wind, or something more? Wait, that's just the beginning. Let me delve deeper into the backstory to make this even more spine-tingling. Alara Voss wasn't born a witch. She was made one by circumstance. Orphaned young, she was taken in by an herbalist in the woods, learning the arts of poultices and potions. The villagers sought her aid in secret, but when a plague hit, they needed a scapegoat. Her lover, a young blacksmith named Jonah, tried to defend her, but he was beaten and left for dead. In her final moments, Ilara's curse was fueled by that lost love, binding her spirit to seek vengeance on Jonah's killer's kin. In modern times, Amelia's discovery of the locket wasn't random. It was delivered by an anonymous figure, a descendant of Jonah perhaps, trying to break the cycle, but unwittingly perpetuating it. As Amelia researched, she found diaries in the library hidden away. One entry from Elias Thorne himself. The witch's eyes haunt me. In dreams, she promises retribution. God forgive us. The night of the crash, when Amelia saw the figure, it wasn't just a hallucination. Ilara was testing her, drawing her to the grave. The visions she experienced were vivid, feeling the ropes bind her wrists, the crowd's jeers, the heat rising. It humanized Alara, showing her as a victim, but also revealed her darkness. She had dabbled in forbidden magic to save Jonah, summoning forces that corrupted her soul. The clearing scene was the heart of the horror. Imagine the roots not just coiling, but pulsing like veins, drawing life force. The ghosts weren't victims. They were Alara's familiars. Twisted animals from the woods given spectral form. Ravens with human eyes, wolves with burning fur. When the curse struck the others, it was gruesome. The mayor didn't just burn. His body ignited in patterns matching the runes on the locket. Sarah's blisters formed words. Traitor's blood. Amelia's chant wasn't from memory. She improvised, pulling from the diary's fragments, her voice trembling as wind howled opposition. In the aftermath, Amelia became the town's guardian, researching ways to fully seal the curse. But each Halloween, the locket reforms in her dreams, whispering temptations of power. Is the revenge truly over, or just dormant? To expand this tale, let's explore parallel stories within Eldridge Hollow. Take young Tommy Jenkins. Before vanishing, he found a strange herb in his candy, mandrake root, Ilara's favorite. It lured him to the woods where he heard singing, a lullaby from centuries past. His body was never found, but some say on foggy nights, a child's laughter echoes, inviting others to play. Then there's the bonfire incident. As flames leapt, faces appeared in the embers, accusers from 1692, mouthing silent screams. One reveler, a distant relative, touched the fire and felt no heat, but later that night, his hands charred without cause. Sarah's involvement added layers. She wasn't just a friend. Her family had ties to the trials too, as witnesses who recanted too late. Her death was poignant, reaching for Amelia, whispering, "Forgive me," as if echoing Ilara's pain. Amelia's transformation post-event was profound. She quit teaching, opening a museum on the trials, educating to prevent history's repeat. But nightmares plagued her, reliving burns, hearing curses. Therapy didn't help, only sage and salt wards kept the whispers at bay. Now imagine if this tale had branches. What if Ilara's child survived, hidden away, and descendants walk among us? Or if the curse spreads beyond the hollow carried by survivors? For a bone-chilling twist, consider this. Amelia wakes one morning to find the locket reformed on her nightstand. The cycle begins anew, proving revenge is eternal. Let's flesh out the characters more. Amelia Thorne, skeptical but with a hidden fascination for folklore from childhood stories. Her divorce left her isolated, making the supernatural intrusion even more terrifying. Sarah Klein, bubbly yet deep, with a tattoo of a pentagram. She collected grimoires half-jokingly, but believed in energies. Her death hit Amelia hard, fueling her resolve. Mr. Hargrove, crotchety, knowledgeable, hoarding artifacts. His demise was foreshadowed by dreams of fire which he confided to no one. The mayor, Reginald Blackwood, pompous, dismissing legends as tourist bait. His fiery end was ironic as he organized the bonfire. Ilara Voss, complex antagonist, not purely evil. Her revenge stemmed from injustice. In visions, she showed vulnerability, weeping for Jonah, making her sympathetic yet fearsome. The setting amplifies horror. Eldridge Hollow, cobblestone streets, Victorian homes, dense forests where light barely penetrates. On Halloween, decorations blur with reality. Plastic skeletons seem to move. Jack-o'-lanterns flicker with unnatural light. Sound design in your mind, creaking branches, distant howls, crackling fire, whispers building to shrieks. Visuals, misty nights, shadowy figures, close-ups on burning eyes, slow reveals of charred marks. This tale warns, ignore history at your peril. Injustice festers, manifesting when least expected, but wait, there's more to unravel. Let's dive into Ilara's life before the trials. Born in 1665, she grew up in poverty. Her mother a midwife accused of sorcery but acquitted. Ilara inherited her knowledge, blending it with Native American remedies from forest dwellers. She healed many, including children during outbreaks, earning quiet gratitude. Her romance with Jonah was passionate. He forged her tools. They met in secret glades. When plague struck, villagers blamed her unnatural cures. Jonah's defense led to his murder, beaten by a mob led by Elias Thorne. At the stake, Ilara's curse was specific, targeting bloodlines on Halloween. When Samhain energies peaked, she bound her spirit to her locket, containing a lock of Jonah's hair. In present day, the package's deliverer was a shadowy figure, perhaps a cultist worshipping Ilara or a compelled townsperson. Amelia's research uncovered a hidden society in Eldridge, the Voss Watchers, descendants protecting against the curse. They left the locket as a test. Amelia passed by atoning. But twists abound. Sarah wasn't dead. Her death was an illusion. She reappeared, eyes glowing, possessed by Alara's remnant. The revenge continues, she hissed, forcing Amelia to confront her again. In a final ritual, Amelia burned the diary, severing ties. Sarah collapsed, freed, but scarred. Years later, Amelia tells the story to her students, warning them. On Halloween, she locks doors, but hears knocking. This tale's length allows immersion. Feel the chill? That's Alara's breath. To reach our word count, let's expand descriptions. The forest. Ancient oaks with bark like wrinkled skin, moss hanging like shrouds. Paths twist illogically, leading wanderers in circles. Animals fall silent near the grave, as if respecting the dead. The crash. Amelia's car crumpling against a tree, airbags deploying, her head spinning. The figure, tall, cloaked, face obscured but eyes piercing like coals. Visions, sensory overload, smell of smoke, taste of ash, pain of flames. Alara's memories, childhood laughter turned to screams, love's warmth to betrayal's cold. The clearing, moonlit, grave sunken like a mouth, roots slithering, soil parting like flesh. Attacks, vivid, horrifying. Mayor's veins glowing orange before bursting. Sarah's skin peeling in curls, revealing muscle. Chant, Amelia's voice cracking, wind whipping hair. Alara's form distorting. Aftermath, town hushed, survivors bonded by trauma. Amelia writes a book, The Witch's Shadow, becoming famous but haunted. Subplots, Tommy's fate. He became Alara's servant, a spectral child luring others. Rescued in a side ritual but forever changed, seeing ghosts. Another, a reporter investigating skeptical like Amelia, meets similar fate, adding layers. Themes, justice versus vengeance, cycles of violence, forgiveness is power. In conclusion, The Witch's Revenge isn't just a story, it's a caution. This Halloween, as you carve pumpkins and don costumes, remember, some tales are true. Sleep tight if you can.